What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to 2nd Street. It's DC Tuesday, and here I am in my local comic book shop, Basis Cards and Comics, right here in Lancaster, California, to present you all with my comic book pull list for the week. Now, if you don't know what a comic book pull list is, that's okay. You can find the video right up there where you can go and learn a little bit more about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys my comic books that I have here for the week. We're going to show you all of the different covers that are getting ready to hit the shelves, and then towards the end of the video, I am going to get into some reviews of these books that I am getting ready to show you right here. Starting right off, as I always do, we go through Marvel, DC, then we get into small press and indies, and we've got quite a good variety today. Starting off with Marvel. Yeah, that's right. In case you haven't been watching, I know somebody's gonna say something. I've got a couple of Marvel books here. First, starting with Kang the Conqueror, issue number 1. Now, we all know that Kang is getting ready to come into the MCU and everything, and I'm not super familiar with the character altogether, so they're putting this one out, and I figured, hey, why not go ahead and pick it up and give this book a read and see how it is, see what is going on out there. Now, the next one I have here is X-Men Trial of Magneto, issue number 1. Now, this one right here is totally a cover by. I had to get this Art Germ cover right there. I mean, look how beautiful that is. It's Wanda. It's Art Germ. Such just a beautiful, beautiful cover. And the total cover by. I'm not reading this. Who reads this X-Men stuff? Certainly not me. Certainly not me. Now, moving on, the next one we've got here is Moon Knight, issue number 2. Now, this is I wouldn't say this is like one of the variant covers. This is the 4th cover here, and I can't even remember who did the cover here on this, but I thought this cover was actually pretty sick. You see him, he's got this like techie suit and everything on there. I don't know, pretty badass. I thought the first issue of this new series was pretty good. I don't know a whole lot about Moon Knight other than, like, I read his omnibus that came out not too long ago. It's got like his first appearances in Werewolf by Night, and then a whole bunch of other little tie-ins that he did, as well as his first series. Very, very good stuff, and I thought issue number 1 of the Moon Knight, this new Moon Knight series, was pretty good, kind of tying in some of the other stuff, some of the other storylines or iterations of Moon Knight that we've seen in the past. Now, that's all I have for my Marvel books this week, so moving right on into Ablaze Publishing, we've got the Sumerian Man-Eaters of Zambula, issue number 2, and this is the, I want to say the B cover. Oh, this one's the cover A. This one's the cover A. I've really enjoyed this series. They're going off the original Robert E. Howard scripts, and the nice thing about it is, well, this is probably like the 6th or 7th series that they've done of these 3-issue miniseries. They change authors and writers on every single one of these, and it's been quite a good journey so far here through these, and they put them out in these nice hardcover collected editions. Volume 3 should probably be coming out pretty soon. I've got the first 2 volumes as well. Now, the cool thing about this is they are taking it from Robert E. Howard's original scripts, and by the time you get into these books, here at the end, they actually have the script in there for you to check out, so you can check and see how well they are honoring that source material, right? Isn't that what we want? You know you do. And plus, the good thing about the Ablaze, comics, their version of the Sumerian of Conan, if you will, is because in this series, you're never going to see him cross swords with Iceman. Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, moving on into Antarctic Press. Isn't this one on Antarctic Press? Yeah, on Antarctic Press. We've got Death by Life, issue number 5. Now, I know I got to read the first issue of this, and I'm not sure, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with those sometimes. I think sometimes I miss them. Maybe they come in damaged. It's hard to say. We're going to get those other issues in so we can get the series finished up. I know I read the first issue of it. I thought it was very good. Can't wait to get into that one. Now, the next one we have here is on AWA Upshot. We've got 2 by them this week, and we've got Mods, issue number 3, a series I have really enjoyed, kind of tying together several different series of the AWA Upshot universe and their kind of shared universe of characters. Been very, very good stuff going on over there at AWA Upshot, as well as this next title, which is number 4 of Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. This book right here, I haven't read a whole lot of Garth Ennis' work, but I thought this book so far has been really, really good, fun, entertaining. kind of stuff where you see Marjorie Finnegan kind of jumping throughout time, kind of avoiding her sister, who is kind of like the sheriff who's going through, kind of cleaning up her messes that she's making throughout as she travels throughout time and just is messing with everything. Pretty funny book. Definitely one I'd say to check out if you like. And it's an 8-issue series, one of the first 8-issue series I think I've seen on AWA Upshot. But moving on into Dark Horse Comics this week, we've got, this is Killer Queens issue number 1. This is the Jen Bartel variant. I picked this one up because the writer, David Boer, is the same writer that writes this other book called Kanto over on IDW Comics. And Kanto has been an absolutely great series. And so I see this writer writing this new series over here. I'm like, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. Why not, right? Why not? Now, that's all I've got for Dark Horse. Now, moving into our Image Comics this week. Starting off, we've got Radiant Black issue number 7. And check out this variant cover. You can see it's a wraparound. Yeah, it's a wraparound. I mean, you only get his leg there on the back, but hey, it's still a wraparound, right? Now, this series written by Kyle Higgins, I've really enjoyed this series overall. The first couple of issues were, I was kind of like, it's just like rip off, kind of like, it's almost like imagine like Spider-Man, but Peter Parker was a total weenie boy, right? And didn't want to take responsibility for anything. Where it's almost a reverse, but he's got the suit and everything, and like the way the story's progressed along, especially these last couple of issues, been very, very good. So I'm actually kind of excited and anticipating issue number 7 here, which we'll get into here by the end of the video. Also, the next one we've got on Image Comics is Homesick Pilots issue number, 8? Issue number 8 on Homesick Pilots. This is another one of those series that I've been enjoying. I'm not sure how long this series is going to be. I might end up starting to trade weight on this series, but overall, Homesick Pilots has been a pretty decent read overall. Now, that's all I've got for my regular comic books that are coming out this week on my comic book pull list, but I've got a couple extras here as well. This one is a book I've actually covered here on the channel and talked about. This is a trade paperback. This is Hot Valley Days and Cocaine Nights. This is on Antarctic Press as well, and this one was $19.99, as you can see right there on the price tag. And I got to tell you, this book was worth every single penny because the story is good. Altogether, it reminds me of, imagine like Goodfellas meets Blow meets Rockstar, right? The movie with Mark Wahlberg. Very, very good book. Very good art in this book. Great story. I love this. I wish there was more comic books out there that were like this, that just told a nice, fun, short tale in a nice little trade paperback here. It's just really good. It seemed very kind of cinematic. I mean, it reminded me like I was watching a movie, and I think that's something very good for a great comic book. Now, this last one I have here is this book. I remember seeing this solicited, and it finally came out. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the graphic novel of George Orwell's 1984. Guys, I've actually never read the book of 1984. I've seen the movie plenty of times, but I've never actually read the book. And when I seen this solicited, I was like, man, like I've got to pick that up. It's adapted and illustrated by Fido Nesti. You can see right there. Now, what it gets into is it's kind of it's a graphic novel in the sense that it's got like a lot of like these pages right here where you see like the art and everything, just like you would in a comic book. But then you get into some of it too, where they have they're gonna have like different just word pages and everything like that, just like a normal book. And then you get into more, and they just have different stuff like that throughout. Like, see here, you get towards the back, even more of it. Very good stuff. Now, the other thing I was laughing about when I was looking at this is on the price tag, it says $22 or higher in Canada. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny, but yeah. So I can't wait to get the time to actually sit down and read this one. It probably won't be one of the ones that we're going to be talking about here at the end of the video. But that's all I've got for my comic book pull list this week, folks. Let me know down in the comments below what's on your comic book pull list, and what of these books are you looking forward to seeing me talk about more here in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to roll the clip of all the different comic books getting ready to hit your local comic book shop shelves this week, and then we'll get into some comic book reviews for the rest of the video. now you got to see all the books that are hitting the shelves of local comic book shops this week. Again, let me know down in the comments below, what of these books are you looking forward to picking up or buying this week, if you're picking up any at all. Let me know down in the comments below, and let's go ahead and get into this week's comic reviews, starting right off with Kang the Conqueror. This issue number 1. This series is being written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. It's got art by Carlos Magno. Espen Gruntejern is the colorist, and VC's Joe Caramagna is the letterer. Mike Del Mundo is the cover artist. And I've got to say, I don't know, like I said earlier, I don't know a whole lot about Kang or anything. I've kind of read some of the original Avengers run and just a few other books out there, like in West Coast Avengers and things like that, that have kind of run in line with some of the stuff that's going on in the MCU as I've kind of dug into it, reading books, getting just kind of building theories and stuff for that. But this issue number 1 here, I thought was actually really good. It kind of gives you a little bit of an introduction to Nathaniel Richards and Kang, and a little bit of the history of this character without giving a whole lot of information to new readers or anything, just cramming it all in your face at one time. But it just gave you kind of a very basic outline of who the character is. I've also got to say, I actually thought the art in this book and the colors were handled really well. Just everything kind of in this book was, I just think, was good. Very good quality as well. And I'm kind of actually looking forward to reading issue number 2 on the series to see where it goes. Again, I believe this is a mini-series as well. So I guess we'll see how that goes in the next couple of issues. But I thought that this very first issue was pretty good. Actually, I would actually recommend checking this book out. And you guys know I don't read a whole lot of Marvel books here any more, as I've just been reading a whole lot of indies. But I think this one's definitely worth checking out. Now, getting into this next one that we have here is Moon Knight issue number 2. This is obviously the second issue in this new series that they, it's kind of funny, they're doing both of these series, both of these books, right, as there are, just shows and movies getting ready to come into the MCU. As, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. It's about time they're doing something like that, kind of getting new readers, or even readers who haven't read these series or these characters before into this stuff before these new series are coming out. I think they're finally getting everything like fully on board with like the comic books, and not necessarily tying together, but the timing of them seems to be a little bit better. But this series is being written by Jed MacKay. It's got art by Alessandro Cappuccio. Colorist is Rochelle Rosenberg, and lettered by VC's Corey Petit. Now, Moon Knight issue number 2 is kind of doing the same thing as Kang the Conqueror is. It's giving you like issue number 1 gives you a little bit of a background on the character if you're not too familiar with him or anything, and then kind of thrusts you into this new story where you see that Mr. Knight, or Moon Knight here, is kind of running this this how would you say, this agency, if you will, that's going out and just kind of protecting people in the neighborhood. And here in issue number 2, we see that story continuing on just a little bit more, where we see these elderly people just out there at night time attacking just people out there out on them streets. And I gotta tell you, I think issue number 2 here was pretty good. I don't know that it was, I don't know, issue number 1, issue number 2, like, the series has been okay. I'm not sure how long this series, I think this is another mini-series as well. If it's ongoing, I'd be kind of surprised, but I don't know, it's not bad, it's not really good. Like, so far the first 2 issues are just kind of, I don't know, I guess we'll see how and where it goes from here. I don't know, maybe a recommend if you don't know any of these characters that well or anything, you're just getting into it, you might want to go ahead and give these a read. But like I said, I read that Moon Knight Omnibus Volume 1 that had all of his first appearances and, like his first 20 issues. Very excellent stuff, but again, that's just the older stuff. It's none of the updated, more some of the other modern storylines that he has been through over the years. So I'm not completely familiar with his character, but this one, I don't know. I think also in this issue, the art here as well just kind of is a little bit off-putting to me. I'm not really digging the Cappuccio's art in this series as well, but I don't know, like I said, I mean, it might be worth checking out, seeing if you like it. Don't take my word for it on this one for sure. But that's all I've got for Marvel books. So let's go ahead and get into this next one, which this one is on Blaze Publishing. This is the Sumerian Man-Eaters of Zambula, and this one is writer and artist Guess, along with letterer Desi Cienti. Now, the thing I've really enjoyed about this Blaze series of the Sumerian is that they're using Robert E. Howard's original scripts when they are adapting these into the books, and I've really enjoyed it. They've been changing writers and artists along the way, sometimes getting writer-artists to do the books like they have here in this particular series, sometimes getting a writer and then the artist as well. I think it kind of works getting the writer-artist because the writer don't really necessarily have a whole lot to do, as they are just pretty much adapting these stories, not necessarily word for word, but not really changing much, and you do get to see that in the end of these books where they have this, the original scripts printed in there for you to read. Now, this series right here, they've been doing all of these books in 3-issue arcs, 3-issue arcs for the Sumerian series. But getting into this last one, I noticed that this one actually at the end of issue 2 said the end. And then this month, I believe they are actually they're actually soliciting a new series as well. So this one's only 2 issues. I'm wondering if the next series is going to be 2 issues or 3. I don't really know, but this series is definitely a recommend if you like Conan, you like the Sumerian. Very good stuff in this series. Now, the art's not probably going to always be there for everybody. Some, like I said, the art has gone different directions, as they have different artists and writers every single series. But definitely one that overall I would say is good. I'd say the roughest they had it in the art department was in the first volume, so like the first 6 issues. Other than that, I think it's been pretty good. But let me know if you've been reading the Sumerian down in the comments below. Now, moving on into AWA Upshot. Guys, I've really enjoyed the series. This is Moths, being written by J. Michael Straczynski. It's got art by Mike Choi, and it is lettered by Sal Cipriano. Now, Moths, issue number 3 here, man. Like, I've really enjoyed this series overall, what's going on here. And in Moths here, issue number 3, we do see, again, more of that, how would you say, that connective tissue between what was going on in the Resistance and Moths. Now, these ones are series that are very interconnected, interlinked, but this issue right here in particular actually has a flashback scene to the Resistance issue number 5, the original series that came out last year, which was one of the first series that AWA basically put out, which I think is a very excellent series as well. Again, written by J. Michael Straczynski, and they are currently on the second arc of the Resistance right now, where they've got J. Michael Straczynski writing it, and this time they've got it was C.P. Smith and Snakebite Cortez doing the art and colors on that series. Where in the first series they had Mike Deodato Jr. So altogether, Moths is another great book. I think you should definitely be reading, especially if you're into the whole AWA Upshot universe. And Mike Choi's art in here has been very good. I'm not one, I know in issue number 1 I was kind of wondering if he's using some of the face models and stuff like that, or maybe tracing somebody's face and then going in and coloring it in. I haven't noticed that as much in this issue, and then maybe just a little bit in last issue. I don't know. Either way, that's not to knock on the art or anything like that. Either way, I've really enjoyed the art in this series as well. Very beautiful in this issue as well. Issue number 3 of 6 of Moths. Again, definitely a recommend for if you're reading any of the AWA Upshot books especially. Now, the next one here on AWA Upshot was Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. Again, this one is being written by Garth Ennis. It's got art by Goran Zaduska, and colors by Miroslav Merva, and lettered by Rob Steen. The cover is by Andy Clark. And again, this is another one where you see a time-jumping Marjorie Finnegan, who was recently arrested by her sister. She got put in the slammer. She's now in temporal jail. And that's where we open up at in this issue, is where you see Marjorie in jail, and just kind of a confrontation that she's having there, as, she's back in jail. She's getting back familiar with her surroundings, if you will, and we get introduced to some of her friends and kind of get a little bit of background on exactly who Marjorie Finnegan is, just a little bit more. Whereas we see on the flip side, we see her sister, who had just put her in jail, who is kind of now regretting the decision of doing that as, I guess you could say, as new information has come to light, man. You know? So, yeah. And it's been very good. I've really enjoyed this series. Here we are on issue number 4 of 8, halfway through the series. This is one I would definitely recommend. I really do like the art in this book. At times it's kind of cheesy and silly, but altogether it's been very good. Andy Clark been absolutely knocking it out of the park as well with the covers on this series as well. Altogether, I gotta say, this is issue number 4. We're halfway through. If you can find these books in your local comic book shop, or even just have them order them in for you, I think this is definitely a series worth reading. Definitely a recommend. Definitely a recommend on Marjorie Finnegan. And like, it kind of reminds me of what was going on in the Loki series, where you see like, because she's jumping back and forth in time and changing stuff, and like the chaos that kind of causes. Just good stuff. Absolutely good. Make sure that you go check it out. Now, the next one we've got here is on Dark Horse, The Killer Queens. Now, as I said earlier, excuse me. As I said earlier, I picked this one up mainly because of the writer David Booher. This was created by David M. Booher and script by David Booher. The art by Claudia Balboni, colors by Harry Saxon, and lettered by Lucas Gattoni. Now, I've got to say, I thought this series, I thought it's kind of a, you get like, not necessarily, you can kind of see like some space criminals, right? And then they're out there, it looks like they're getting ready to go kind of pull a job, where you see like, you get introduced to the couple of different members on this team as, at the very beginning, as they are kind of out on a mission that looks like things are going awry. And they end up making their escape, and they end up, just kind of, out in space, like, hey, we need to do something and make money. And, we could tell our main character here has kind of given up taking jobs where she has to kill people, right? No more killing for money. And we just, just kind of a little bit of silliness here as the characters go on and get their mission and who they're getting it from, and just, again, kind of, past relationships, if you will. This is one, definitely, you see in this book, there's I think all the characters are, pretty much, it seems like they're gay or lesbian, alright? We'll just put that out there. From what we're getting out of this first issue, you don't really see any straight characters in this one. I'm guessing the straight characters are probably the bad guys. They're probably the bad guys. What? Hey, don't be mad at me. Look, I'm telling you. So far in this book, the characters, they're all, they're all queer. They're gay or lesbian. I could only surmise that the bad guys are gonna be straight. And hey, I'm just saying, I didn't say they were gonna be straight and white. Okay? So hey, give me a little bit of credit here. All right? Give me a little bit of credit. But anyway, altogether, if you're into something like that, that's fun, silly, like if you're a fan of like Money Shot over on Vault Comics, a series I've really enjoyed, if you can just kind of loosen up and enjoy some of that kind of stuff, I think this one is definitely a recommend read. David Booher definitely writing more of an adult title here, whereas he's writing Canto on IDW Comics, which is absolutely great, and you need to check out that series. Killer Queens, kind of like the opposite of that book there, where, that was more about the hero's journey, where this one you hear, you kind of got these assassins here that are just going out and just, they're not even insufferable. That's the thing. They're just silly, and they're just out doing stuff, like pulling off these jobs. And I don't know. I think if you're into something like that, definitely worth checking out. I thought it was entertaining, and I'm going to check out issue number 2 to see how that is. And I think this is probably another 5-issue miniseries. I could be wrong, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty decent. Like I said, if you're a fan of Money Shot, definitely worth checking out. But it's a little bit different than Money Shot. But anyway, definitely worth checking out. Let me know down in the comments below if you checked out Killer Queens. I actually ended up picking up the Jen Bartel variant. Jen Bartel, she get, some people are a fan of her. People pick up covers or certain covers, and I think Jen Bartel does some actually pretty good art as well. I do like kind of her style and colorings and everything she does. She's pretty good artist, and she's been doing more and more covers. I believe she's even doing covers, or she's kind of been doing covers for the big two as well, but I don't know, very good stuff. Now, that's all I've got on Dark Horse. Now, moving on into Image Comics this week, ladies and gentlemen, Radiant Black. This one being written by Kyle Higgins, artist Marcelo Costa, colorist Natalia Marquez, and lettered by Becca Carey. Now, Radiant Black here, issue number 7. I've got to say, after reading this one, I really do like this series. I wouldn't have said that a couple of issues ago. Like the first couple of issues, like issue number 1 and 2 were like, they were enough to get me on board. I was kind of like, all right, like it seems all right. This guy that got this suit and became known as Radiant Black, he seemed like kind of a weenie. And, he kind of didn't really, he was the reluctant hero. And we seen what happened there with his, he ended up getting attacked and ended up being in the hospital in a coma. To which this suit ended up having to attach to somebody else, and it attached to his best friend, who was there and upset and is more into like the superhero stuff than his friend was. And he happily takes on the suit, and he goes down to kind of track down this person that had attacked his friend and put him in the hospital. Well, this confrontation, once we kind of got there to that confrontation, somebody else interjected. Now, I actually had to go back and kind of reread what happened a couple of issues ago that pertained to where this issue number 7, picked up. Because issue number 6 told this really great backstory on one of the other characters, one of the other people that has one of these suits that chose them, the red one. And we got more of the backstory of her backstory in issue number 6, which I thought was really good, getting in there, meeting that character, kind of seeing their motivations as well. Whereas issue number 5 kind of was a little bit more of that confrontation between this red character and the Radiant Black character, where it was a little bit more of that. But there was just like the intervening of this character that we've seen here in this particular issue as well. So, like I said, I kind of had to go back and reread a little bit. And altogether, I've got to say, I think this series is very, very good. I wouldn't have said that, like I said, issue number 1, issue number 2, even issue number 3 was kind of, I don't know. But I really do think that this series has come along. Kyle Higgins is doing a very good job writing this series, and the more it's been going on, the more I've been getting into it. And it's not even like a slow burn kind of book. It was just like that. I guess it just took those couple of first few issues to get started and kind of get me invested in these characters. Altogether, I would say Radiant Black is definitely a recommend. Definitely recommend. And there are only 7 issues in. And I know they just came out with the trade paperback, was it, I think this week or even last week as well. So definitely worth checking out if you get a chance to. You might even be able to find these single issues at your local comic book shop as well. But if not, like I said, the trade is out there. But that's all I've got for these books. I do have a few other books that I showed earlier that I'm not going to be getting into today in this video. Just some of them, like the George Orwell 1984. I just got to get in there. It's going to take me a little more time to read that thick of a book, just a little more time. And then also the trade paperback of Pop Valley Days Cocaine Nights. I mean, I've already read that one. I've already read that one, and I actually think that was a very, very good series. Like I said earlier, if I didn't stress enough, definitely something I would recommend that you go out there and check out, worth every single penny of that $19.99 cover price on that trade paperback. Well, that's it, folks. That's all we've got for this video today. Let me know again down in the comments below what of these books you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments below as well. And if you're not already, please make sure that you're subscribed. Click that little bell so you get notifications anytime we upload new videos. You know how this works. Don't act like you don't know how it works. You know how it works. But while you're at it, make sure that you share with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the 2nd Street Marvel. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.